one of LNbits superpowers is using it in your stack to power the product or services which you've built on top of LNbits. It's one of the original use cases for LNbits, in fact, was just have that common API and swap out funding sources underneath it. And then also every time an extension is added, you get access to that extension and all of its APIs as well for adding features to your front end product or service. We use it ourselves in Noster.com. So on my.noster.com, we use it for the logging in feature of the service. And then we also use it for selling the Noster identities, the wallets functionality, and then some other services we will build into that product. So it's very powerful. You've had 5 years of hardening, features being added to LNbits core. Of course, you can use LNbits via its UI as well. So it makes it a really nice tool for people building Bitcoin Lightning payment services. And they just want to plug and play drop something in, and then just to be able to build the features and get the thing they want to build out. So we have people building things like Lightning Telegram bots and casinos and even some banking services, games, whatever. LNbits is really good to have in that software stack. Now, traditionally, we did use a extension called User Manager for this, which was one of the first extensions I made for LNbits, however many years ago it was. And with User Manager, you could create a user, create wallets for those users, and then manage them with a regular user. Now, it had some security issues, such as it's using the admin key of whatever user was used to create those users. So if that was leaked, they would then get access to all of the users, all of the extensions, and it could be quite catastrophic. So considering how many people build on top of LNbits and use LNbits in their stack, it made sense that we build a much more professional solution, which has the sort of API we'd expect from this type of service, which you would pull into your software stack. So DNI has built us the user area, which is now in LNbits core, and it's great. You can go in there, you can check out users' wallets, you can credit debit accounts, you can search by balance, search by name, and it's a really good way of drilling down into user accounts. You can also create an account through the UI here, but really what we want to be doing now is build on top of LNbits. So with our products or service, so we're going to have a little look actually at the API for the user area. Now, if you've already built your service on top of LNbits before it was version 1, and you're now freaking out because User Manager is no longer supported, do not fret. If you go to although the User Manager extension isn't officially supported, if you go to the repo, LNbits/User Manager, we have a version 1 release. It's not officially supported, but you can install it just for that transitional period where you're moving from the User Manager extension to the user area API instead. Just go grab the manifest, click on manifest.json, click on raw, copy the link, go over to your LNbits, go to settings, extensions, add it in, hit enter, hit save, and then when you go to extensions, you'll see User Manager, then you can update to version 1. And then over time, I would start transitioning over to the user area API, because we will be phasing out the User Manager extension in preference for this. And then for new people who are building on top of LNbits, a nice way to be able to see what API requests are being made when operating different parts of LNbits is just use DevTools. So do inspect and then go to network, refresh the page, and we'll see all the requests which are made. Now if I click on create account and then give my user a name, what should we call him? Jim. I'm going to set a password for my user 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's it. You can set the other stuff if you want to, but really all it needs is a name and a password, and that'll do. So create account. And then if we go down into our requests, we can see that a post request was made here. And this is the endpoint which is hit. Users /API version 1 user. So I'm going to copy that. And then if we want, we can have a little look in to see what's being passed. So we can see the headers, and we can see the response we get back. The new user was created. This is their ID. And we can see the details we put in there for the user. I can close this now, And then if I go over to the Swagger application, so all you need to do in your LNbits install is go /docs and you get this nice Swagger application. And then I can search for that endpoint. Here's the endpoint, the post request to create a new user. And I can create a raw request from here to then start researching how to build on top of LNbits. First thing we need to do is authenticate the requests. There's a couple of ways you can do this. Either we can just log in as super user or admin to do that. But then what will be happening is you're getting like a general access token as a cookie for all the endpoints on LNbits, which isn't preferable. Really, we want to be a bit more granular there and just have an access cookie just for the user area for creating a user. So I'm going to go over to LNbits, the front end here. And as a super user or an admin, if you go over to your profile, click on my account, go to access control list, create a new access control list. You'll have to put in your password, blah, create. And then I can create an API token. And we'll call it my app. Set an expiration for the access token. I'm just going to go 6 months in the future. Create. Now, I'm going to copy that. If I go over here to my app under the access control list blah, and then I scroll down and you've got all the different endpoints here for all the different extensions. We're going to not allow access to any of those, just the user area. So I'm going to allow read and write access to that. Hit update, put in the password. So now that access token I created for my super user only has access to the user area. So I can authenticate by pasting that in there, authorize, and now I'm authorized to use this endpoint. So if I hit try it out, I'm going to delete all this because it's unnecessary for me. And I'm just going to do the username password. Jimmy, and then password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Execute. Okay, so we see a nice example of a curl request here. And then this is what it gets back. It's the user account which has been created. There is also a wallet which is created when you create a user account automatically. Every user gets issued with a wallet because, why have a user with no wallet? So to get those details back, if we go to this get request, get user by ID, and then pop that in there and execute, then we will get the user back as well as the wallet which was created. And then further down, there's more endpoints for, adding a new wallet if you want them to have multiple wallets. And then, of course, if we go up through the Swagger docs, you can see we have APIs, lovely APIs to build on top of for all of our extensions, and then a whole bunch of core stuff as well. So what I'm actually going to do is show you that you can just take this curl request, and then if we hop on over to terminal, I can paste that in. I'll have to change the name or else I'll get an error. Jimmy1. You can see that we can create an account as well from curl there. So there's some nice tools for starting to build your application on LNbits. And if we go over to the UI, and this is what's great about it, as a tool, is like, yes, you have this very powerful API you can build for, but then also you've got this UI which the admin can then go in and actually just easily manage the users and look through the users and do things like, keep an eye on the API and see what endpoints are being hit by your users, see if anyone's trying to spam you. And you have all the security tools as well. So it's a great suite of tools. And then if I search by username, what did I call him? Jimmy1. There we are. There's Jimmy1. There's his wallet. And should we credit them some money? Should we send him 1,000 sats just to get him started? Here you go. Have fun, Jimmy1. And that is it. That's just that's probably all you need to be able to get yourself started building that application. Is there anything else worth showing you? Yes, there is. If I go to my Noster, I'll log out. I'll open up developer tools, and then I'll show you how, if I refresh this, if I go to account, and then if I log in using just this testing account here, now I'm logged in. If we go to this post request, this auth post request, we'll see the cookie which has been returned and set as a cookie in the browser. So this user, when it makes requests to LNbits, then it can authenticate using that cookie. So that's that access token. So we're even using it in Noster.com. It hasn't got its own database storing user details. It's just all on LNbits. Everything's built on LNbits, and Noster.com really is just a wrapper, a front end for offering those products and services. So it really shows you how powerful the software is as a tool to put in your software stack. Have a lot of fun. Any issues, join us on the Telegram group, LNbits. There's no question which is too dumb. Hop in there, tell us what you're building. If you want some support, ask for some support. It's perfectly fine. Thanks for watching. Thank you for the developers who built the new user area, DNI, and then to Vlad Stan as well for building that access control token system. It's really very powerful and very useful. Anyway, cheers. Thank you. Bye.